What I recommended in the barbershop. I'm walking in the barbershop talking about this one. Yo, you heard that Bun B?
Yeah, yeah,
Like, yo, you
yeah.
know what I mean? Like, yo, you heard that Bun B? You know what I mean? The same way you
One
did.
of the last of a dying breed. You know where hip hop live without the skinny jeans. That's why I walk with a different walk, fought with a different heart, talk with a different walk.
All right. First off, beginning when I talked to you last time, you didn't listen to it. You just been putting it off and shit, right? And I was like, hold up, you ain't hear your man Meth on there? What do you think about that track? I want to know what you think about Meth bars on that.
So, yo, before I tell you about Meth Bars, do you know that this album was recorded live?
It was?
Yo, you can look it up on YouTube, yo. That's why if you listen to the end of it, Static be like, we did it, Bun B, 10 hours and something, something, something. Like, yo, you can watch, yo, they got Method Man whole, they got everybody whole session, son. So the thing is, I clicked on it. It's the video is 11 hours long on YouTube. So you see 11-hour long video, what you gonna do? You just gonna scroll and drop it somewhere and see what the fuck shows up.
Right.
It showed up right on Method Man verse. And Method Man was in the booth, stumbling, fucking up. He don't like his voice. Nigga like, yo, I smoke too much. You know what I mean? All this shit. But Method Man verse is fire. And then watching him record it made it even more fire. I'm not gonna lie. The fact that this album was recorded live and I watched the studio sessions live, you got to see nigga, yo, it made me like the album more. You know what I
Damn.
mean? So Bun B doing that shit. And I suggest anybody, including you, Tim, you get some time, yo. Like I said, I ain't watched a whole lot of it, but I'm going to
Right.
tune in because I want to see Raekwon's session. I want to see nigga session. No, not Raekwon. Not on here. That's Eric Sherman. I want to see the Big Crit session though, and all that shit. I want to see, you know what I mean, like what's going on, and watching Method Man shit fire though. Method Man shit
Yeah.
fire.
That's my favorite song on there.
Yeah, Method. Yeah. What's that? Still Trill.
Yeah. Still true.
Yo, and Method Man verse, before we go any further, Method Man verse made me think about this, yo. Is Method Man like top three, top four of the 90s rappers that still do it now? You know what I mean? Like you think about people that still do it now that was from that era. Who can spit with meth like this? Maybe Buster. Gotta give Buster could do it. Buster be fire. Of course, Jay and Nas. But you know what I mean? Nas ain't been showing up like this. You know what I mean? Not like this. Not like this.
He can.
So, so it got me thinking, like, yo, who is the top five rappers from the 90s that still do that shit? So, yeah, I'm with you on that. That's on fire.
Yeah, that shit is. I like the collaborations on there. He had some interesting collaborations. Being that he had like Fat Joe.
Yo,
Fat Joe on there.
Fat Joe verse is just as incredible, though, yo. Fat Joe
Yeah.
verse, he giving it up on there, yo. Dang, yo, hold on, I gotta play that shit. Cause Fat Joe, see, I want to see the Fat Joe session on there too.
I
That's
got
why.
something to talk about that too.
But Fat Joe opening line, I can't remember, but
That's the shit. Let me hear my voice a little bit loud on the thing.
And that sound like something that was going on in the studio. That sound like we're just live. Nothing cut
uh-huh.
out. That right when talking at the beginning, since you said that they recorded it live or whatever and showing it, that sounded like something that was recorded and just never took out of the track.
Yeah, of
They left it
course,
in there.
of course.
So that makes it more interesting.
Bitch. I get it up and stomp you senseless. Yo, we can.
Just that right there.
Yeah.
This is bad intentions. I'm pulling up if I'm in your mentions. You want to romp, I stomp you senseless. Like, yo, that shit his opening line was fire, yo. Like, he just came in like, yo, on a whole, Joe don't be rapping like that now. He be on some, I'm like, I'm Joe, I'm in Miami. That was New York Joe. That was New York Joe right there.
That was Got a Flow Joe.
Yeah. I mean, Jealous One Still Envy Joe.
There was one still. Oh, that was a classic. Yo. Okay, I got a fact. The name of that track is what?
Basquiat.
You know who he is?
He's a artist.
Right. So I did some research on that, right? The dude was a interesting dude, yeah.
Yeah, I
You
don't know.
know, he had a painting that sold not too long ago for $110.5 million. They said that's the highest selling American painting, a painting by an American, the highest selling. Now he was friends with Andy Warhol and shit. I was like, who is this Basquiat? So like that made me research it. It was interesting. He used to paint. He used to buy Armani suits to do his paintings. He
Damn,
painted in Armani suits.
that's fire.
The dude died at 27.
Damn.
He even put out something with hip hop. Lot of hip hop is patterned off of something he did and shit.
What year?
I'm like,
What years was he alive? Like
well, he was born in 1960, so he was like, I seen pictures of, I was really good born on YouTube, so I seen like videos with pictures of him with Fab Five Freddy and shit like that. So he was hanging in the hip hop circle and shit like that. So I was like, damn. So I said, okay, that's who Basquiat is. And what made me think about that was like when he was like, when we want to look it up, when he said, Nip, he's a Basquiat. Talk about
okay,
Nipsey Hussle and shit.
yeah,
I'm like, man, let me see who this dude is. And he was a real artist, a true
yeah.
artist.
The only thing I knew about him was that his paintings was worth a lot of money. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I didn't know how much. I didn't know how much he was worth though. I mean, like he was making money back in the day. You buying Armani suits just to paint.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You from Brooklyn, self-taught artist. They came up in Brooklyn.
Yeah, that's some hood shit. Buying buying the money suits just to paint them.
Yeah, the dude was an interesting dude. So that's what Basquiat is about and shit. I'm like,
That's
okay.
dope, yo. Because I ain't even know that. That's dope. I take
I'm
that.
like,
I'm
okay.
gonna give you that one.
Yeah. So that's what that was about. But yeah, back to the collab. The features. So Fame, Uncle Murder. I'm like,
That's
I'm
on
like,
the snitching song, right?
yeah. I'm like, where you get
Yo,
Uncle Murder? Then, it's like, a dude we slept on. I don't know if you know about him, but I slept on him. Smoke Dizzle.
I've heard of his name. I never really checked too much of his music out.
I've never checked his music out at all, but on this on this shit, he's on one of the tracks. I'm like,
He
yo,
on Basquiat, right?
yeah, yeah, is
Yeah, he
he?
on Basquiat.
Yeah. All right, so I'm like, yo, I need to check him out. I've been putting
Yeah,
it off like who smoked Dizzle? People. I've heard people ask me, yo, you listen to Smoke Dizzle? I'm like, nah, I never listened, but I'm gonna go check it out now.
yeah. Yo, I'm not gonna lie, yo. This how you got to get my attention now, yo. You either gotta
Right.
have a dope record or I gotta stumble across you, yo. Because
And I take that as a this a Bun B cosign to me.
without a doubt.
So I gotta go check him out.
First of all, this album dope.
Yeah.
And Bun B, all his features on here was well placed. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Like the song with Big Crit.
Yeah.
Let me make sure I'm talking all right. Yeah, the song with Big Crit. Like, yo, that joint, it was just everything was just perfect on here, yo. Big Crit and Talib Kweli.
Yeah. Talib. Yeah.
So yeah, like even the paperwork, Uncle Murder. Yo,
Yeah.
Uncle Murder. Yo, I like Uncle Murder, yo. I like Uncle Murder. Uncle Murder got this unorthodox, like, OG. Like, Uncle Murder is like he like the old man at the barbershop, yo, that's just always giving out advice and shit. Like, he from the old school and just like, you know what I mean? But he, like the way he rap, it don't even sound like he trying to like rap. Like, I'm just talking all the time. But yeah, I fuck with Uncle Murder. That shit was dope. Um,
Yo, this shit was to me. I was like, these are rap artists. You know what I'm saying?
Bun
This
B,
is yeah. All of everybody that was on there.
yeah,
Everybody over there was good at their craft and shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the beats,
The
who
beats
was
was
on
dope.
the placement.
Static did his thing. Every
Yeah,
beat on here was dope.
every beat. And then it's like, Bun everybody, especially Bun B, you consider him a South rapper. So the beats he was rapping to was just like anybody can jump on these beats if you can rhyme. North, south, east, west, whatever, where you from, if you can rhyme, you can jump on these beats. And he just showed, his rhyme ability.
Yo, I felt the same way, yo. I felt like when I listened to this, I was like, dang, yo, has music come together this much? Because when you listen to this, you wouldn't say, oh, yo from down south. Not from the production, not from none of the songs. It's just good music. It don't sound like it's from any region. You know what I mean? You wouldn't
Right.
be able to really put your finger on it. It's age appropriate though. You know what I mean? It was age appropriate for him. It was like OG music. You know what I mean? He just was rapping like the OG. He had OGs on there with him, so it just was like, yo, I like that. I was feeling it, and I had
It's like this. It's like, I was thinking the other day, especially when listening to the Eric Sermon, this relates to it. It's like, yo, this is what they do. They're rappers. This is what they do. Frank Sinatra was a singer, right? He was singing when he was a young man in his 20s or whatever. When Frank Sinatra, is he still alive?
I doubt it.
Okay, if he is or not, but if he had a show in Vegas, he was selling out still. He had the young crowd coming to see him. Nobody ever said, "Oh, Frank Sinatra needs to stop singing. He old, too old." It's what he did. If he was still good at it, why not do it? You know what I'm saying? So this is what they do. This is what Bun B or the older rappers. This is what they do. There's just the only difference is it's age appropriate now,
I mean, and you want it to be age appropriate.
right? Because you can't hear them rap about the same shit they rapped about 15 years ago, whatever.
Nah, you can't. I mean, you
They still
can.
do.
You
They still
can.
do a little
And we're
bit.
gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that because Styles
Yeah.
P is Styles P. You get what I'm saying? Styles P don't gotta mature one bit.
Yeah, 'cause
That nigga will still shoot you right
you
outside the juice bar. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm saying it's age appropriate where he was giving it to you on some OG shit on here. You know what I
right,
mean?
right.
He's
But he
giving
did
it.
on one verse say, I could go back to the old me, whatever. You still, everybody still got that in them. Like us, we're older. We can still bring the one out that we need to bring out. You know what I'm saying? If we need to get on that level, we got that. We got him in us. But as an older, you think different and everything. So you put that out. But I can still do that. Believe that. But it's like that's what he was. That's how the rappers now are. They just giving you different perspective as being older. And that, I thought about every time I hear about that, I think about my cousin was like, he didn't want to hear Nas' wedding song and shit like that. I'm like, he's at a different stage in his life. He was getting married. He was older. It's growth.
I mean, you can understand.
You
You can
grow.
understand why somebody make it, but that don't mean you like it though. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like you might listen to a certain artist for a certain thing, and I think that's where Jay-Z had to like try to explain that shit because you had people listening to Jay-Z. Jay-Z, I'm the mouthpiece for hustlers. You know what I mean? He said it in the song. I'm the mouthpiece for hustlers. So when he was the mouthpiece for hustlers, you had the hustlers that listened to Jay-Z for the friend or foe advice. You know what I mean? For the 1-900 hustler advice. You know what I'm saying? Niggas listen to Jay-Z to learn how to ball. What should I do? Then when he became the dude rapping about Basquiat, niggas, the hustlers ain't know nothing about Basquiat. He rapping about all that shit. So that's why Jay-Z had to say, you want old Jay-Z buy my old albums, because people was getting frustrated with it. Niggas might understand, like, Jay-Z, you ain't doing the same thing no more, but
I like I like the growth. I like when people show their growth, and I can relate to their growth. I can understand it. I might not be able to live that lifestyle, whatever, but that's the life he living and shit like that. Like, not to get off the Bun B and shit, but when that Picasso shit, the Jay-Z shit, when he did that shit, and you know they were showing people in the video. These are people that was like the socialites in New York, whatever the motherfucking people that's like artists and shit like that. People that we don't know who the fuck they are, but that's the circle he rolls in now and shit. You know what I'm saying? He's expanded to another
Who
level.
cares? It don't matter. It don't mean that I like it. I don't listen to you for growth. You got people who didn't grow. You got people that still doing the same shit they was doing in '98. They selling the same fucking drugs. So that's what they want to hear.
But who's listening to that? The same dude that hasn't grown along with him.
That's what I'm saying.
That you're not hanging with.
People want to hear Jay. Like for an example, I don't give a fuck how much growth you got. How much you like the 444 album, right?
Yeah.
Where you got to rank that in your top Jay-Z albums, though. You know what I mean? You ain't gotta think about it. You ain't gotta go that deep into it. But I'm just saying, like, it ain't gonna be above Reasonable Doubt. It ain't. It probably. It ain't. It's not above the Black Album. It's not above.
My order was Reasonable Doubt, S. Carter, 444.
Shit, Volume 2 with Dead Money Cash Hoes. Oh, come on, yo, that shit.
I'm gonna go with 444.
444 fire though. Don't get it twisted. I like 444
because you got the first Jay-Z, then you got the street Jay-Z where you started trying to get more lyrical, harder shit with the S. Carter, and then you got the 444 where he was just dropping knowledge.
Yeah, but see, but anyway.
But yeah, that's my big.
Or unless you got more on it. My bad.
No, it was just some great shit. I listened to that shit so many fucking times.
Yo, let me tell you though, I had Still Trill, Basquiat, what's that? Concrete, Time Flies with Big Crit, and All Good with the dude Toby.
Yeah.
Yo. That's somebody I gotta look up.
Yeah, but I think Still Trill and Basquiat was my favorite shit.
Yo, this nigga was spitting, yo. So yeah, that shit dope. Yo, I'm gonna be honest with you, yo. I had this joint at an 8.5. I had it at an 8.5. I did. I had it at an 8.5. And then after I saw the Method Man session, and that's all I saw was the Method Man session and a little bit after that. And it just took me somewhere, yo. So I'm gonna give it a 9. I'm gonna give it a 9. You know what I mean? I'm gonna give it a 9. It took me somewhere. And I ain't gonna lie, yo, because I'm an artist, yo, and I do the studio sessions and shit. I'm sure I'm gonna fall in love with, you know what I mean, just watching this and watching these people create. Like, yo, watching Method Man stumble, or not even stumble, just watching Method Man create the verse. You know what I mean? Like, he did it, you know, you could tell Method Man was trying to find this cadence, you know what I mean? So he was going through it, stumbling, trying to figure out where he was gonna catch his breath at, shit like that. Then he did it in 4s. Then he did it in 8s, and then he did it, and he did half the verse, and then did half the verse, you know what I mean, punched in, and then was like, keep that, let me go all the way straight through, you know what I mean, like, just watching him go, you know what I mean, his just watching how Static Selector and all them niggas was responding to Method Man verse. Like, Method Man did his verse, and you heard the verse, you know it's fire. Method Man did his verse and just walked out the studio. Nigga was like, yo, he just walked out the studio. He walked out the booth. He was like, yo, he just walked out the booth like ain't nothing happened. Like, nigga, stop trying to be modest. You trying to act like you ain't just killed that shit. You know, like, you could tell everybody was on that shit. And like, when they played it back the first time, everybody in that bitch just was like catching Method Man lines and shit. You know what I mean? So it was just like,
that's one of those situations. That's one of those situations where, you know, some of your favorite songs, you be like, yo, some of the illest shit you heard, you be like, Yeah, I wonder what the vibe was being in the studio, hearing that shit for the first time before everybody hears it. You know what I'm saying? Before everybody else hear that shit, you hearing that shit. It's like, what was you? It's like, what was the feeling? It's like, I would love to have that feeling and shit. You know what I'm saying?
That shit dope. What you got on it though?
I gave it a 9.
What's up? We ain't on the same page now.
I gave it a 9 off the rip. You was on some 8.5 shit. I gave it a 9 without even seeing the video.
You was on some 8. You had like the 8.5 was so far from a 9.
No, not for this, y'all.
Yeah, no, this definitely. Bun B was on this shit. The production is insane. The production is insane. So I give it to him.
Right.
But that's what it is, yo. We just reviewed like 900 minutes and shit. We be on some shit. But yo, Trillstatik, Bun B with Status Selector. This joint good, man. It got a whole bunch of features. Not a whole bunch, but they got some dope features on there. The production is good all the way through. Bun B spitting on there. He got some, it's dope, man. 9s across the board. What I recommended in the barbershop. I'm walking in the barbershop talking about this one. Yo, you heard that Bun B?
Yeah.
Like, yo, you know what I mean? Like, yo, you heard that Bun B? You know what I mean? The same way you did me. Like, yo, you heard that Bun B? I'm like, yo, I ain't listened to it yet. You like, yo, you missing out, yo. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, yo, you really missing out. So that's how, that would be the same attention I would have, man. But that's what it is. I'm your boy Diesel, man.
I'm just telling.
One of the last of a dying breed. You know where hip hop live without the skinny jeans. That's why I walk with a different walk, fought with a different heart, talk with a different walk.